Hi guys, this is our fifth video. Mr. Herman did a video in between on the crucifixion. So this is the next kind of section on Christianity, and we're going to talk today specifically about the spread of Christianity and how after Jesus' death, his disciples and his followers take his message all over the region around the Mediterranean. So um, go ahead and open up your online notebooks for me. Make sure that you have a new slide, a new page that you can write some notes in, and we're going to get started. So I'll take a second while you get that open. Okay, so let's get started. Let me move me out of the way here a little bit. And oops, do this one. Okay, so here's what's happening. After the fall, after Jesus is crucified, there seem to be a lot of people who decide that Jesus and what he is saying, his teachings that he taught everyone, specifically to love one another, repent and be forgiven, those teachings don't seem so foreign anymore, and people start to gravitate towards those ideas. Um, there's a lot of people, both who were Jews and who were not Jews at the time, end up we refer to those folks as Gentiles, Jews and Gentiles who really start to kind of um, look to the teachings of Jesus and really start to kind of be hooked by what he has to say to the people. And so, specifically, the disciples are charged after Jesus' death and then subsequent resurrection, if you believe that. But according to the Bible, Jesus is resurrected. He spends 40 days on earth after that, talking to his disciples and people and giving them directions about what he wants them to do. And so he sends them out. They go to tell other people about him. And in the process, the Romans still not really happy with this dude Jesus. Still not really happy that there's all these followers. The Jews, really hardcore, um, really fastidious Jews, also not real happy with this concept of Jesus and how he's garnered so much support. And so as time goes on, the Jews have these people who are going out and kind of rounding up the Christians. Romans have people going out rounding up Christians, and they seem to be torturing them in lots of different ways. And so one of those people who works for the Jewish church is a man by the name of Saul. And Saul is a big time persecutor of Christians. And so he goes and he finds all of these secret meetings, and while he's doing that, he ends up throwing a lot of Christians in prison. One day, while he was on his way to Damascus, according to the scriptures, uh, he is blinded by a bright light, and God says to him, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? And and so Saul ends up losing his sight for a while, but then when he gets it back, he decides that he's been doing this all wrong, and he really needs to stop persecuting Christians, and he decides to join them. And in order to do that, he changes his name from Saul to Paul. And he travels all over the Roman Empire, preaching and teaching to people about who Jesus is. And so the he's not a disciple, but the follower of Jesus ends up writing a majority of the New Testament. In his section is called the epistles. These are books in the Bible that have been written to specific people or congregations of people, churches, telling them about what they should and shouldn't do. And they're very, very famous. There's a lot of them. There's Romans and Corinthians and Galatians. Those are some of the churches. And then there are specific letters to people, like Timothy, one of his friends. And so those are all kind of categorized in the New Testament. And with the popularity increasing of people like Paul and going around and telling people about Jesus, um, things start to continue to move forward. This is a map of Paul's journeys. You can see he had quite a few journeys. His last journey is going to have him end up in Rome, where he is going to be kept prisoner, um, and eventually will die there. But you can see he goes all over the place telling people about who Jesus is, and he is very, very popular, and his message gets out to a lot of people. Paul is going to eventually be beheaded by Rome, the government there. They get tired of the criticism that he brings, specifically about Roman gods. He tells people that they can't worship any other gods but Yahweh God, that Jesus is the Son of God. All of those things caused the Romans to be angry with him, and so they're definitely going to get rid of him. But the message doesn't stop there. It seems to continue to grow. Lots of people continue to believe has been written, and so the Romans continue to be angry with the Christians, even though the Christians are still paying their taxes, even though the Christians are still participating, in those kinds of things with the government. Um, the Roman authorities get angry because the Christians criticize their gods, and they don't like that. So for hundreds of years, the Romans continued to try and destroy Christianity. In a lot of cases, they would round up Christians and they would use them for entertainment. They would throw them into the arenas, and they would have to fight gladiators or fight off different animals. Lots of different things are kind of happening with our poor group of people, the poor Christians. But you can see, and I think that this is why people didn't really know what to do with Christians. In this picture, for instance, you can see there are a bunch of people who are obviously, in this case, set on fire in the background here, probably Christians set on fire for entertainment. And then we have this group of Christians right here they're kneeling and praying while this lion is coming out, and they know that he's there to devour them. You can see that there are little kids and women. Um, the Romans just didn't know what to do. Like, why are these people unafraid? Why are these people not freaking out because of the stuff that's happening around them? And the Christians really felt this connection to this idea that God, that Jesus, who has gone before them, was creating a place for them in heaven. And if they did the right thing and if they did what they were supposed to do, if they believed that Jesus was the Son of God and asked for forgiveness of their sins, then they would get into heaven when they died. And so they didn't really fear death, which was unusual at the time. Okay. And so we had a lot of things that were happening like that all over. This is a different um, image or a different view of that same picture. And if I was sitting here and I knew that this lion was going to come out and get me, I would probably be super stressed out. But they're all sitting here quietly praying. So please add this, the text to your notebook. Many Christians died embracing their faith. Someone who dies for their faith is called a martyr. And don't forget that, if it's bold and red and underlined, we definitely know that that's a vocabulary word for us, and it will be on your test. So a lot of these people are dying for their faith, and their faith is continuing to grow because people were attracted to these, kinds of ideas. Why are you not freaking out? Why are you not stressed out? What's going on? All of those kinds of things help this faith continue to grow. And eventually, hundreds of years after the fact, we see an actual Roman um, an emperor of Rome at the time named Constantine, he actually legalizes Christianity in the Roman Empire. So it takes a couple hundred years, but eventually we'll see Rome actually embrace this concept of Christianity. And they create what is referred to even today as the Roman Catholic Church. It is the first kind of Christian church that is going to be created. So if we've been talking about the fact that the Jews, Abraham is the founder of Judaism. He is the first guy to kind of listen to what God, Yahweh God, says. The Jews follow through all the way through David and Goliath, and then all the way to Jesus. And eventually, we'll see a split of this faith with Jesus. We'll still see Jews continue to be Jewish, and now we're going to have this new branch of faith called Christianity. Jews are not going to believe that Jesus is the Son of God. They're still going to be waiting for a person that they're going to refer to as the Messiah. The Christians, on the other hand, are going to believe that Jesus is who he says he is, and the faith is going to split into two. Jews will go one way, and Christians will go the other way. Now, here's the deal. This is something that continues to plague Jews even to this day. Um, at the time of Jesus' death, one of the things that Pilate says, and Mr. Herman talks about this, one of the things that Pilate says to the crowd after they say, "Crucify Jesus," is he washes his hands ceremonially and he says, "This matter is not about me anymore. You are the Jews and you have elected to kill Jesus. His blood is on your hands and on the generations that follow you." And so people definitely um, choose to, even today there are people who choose to blame Jewish people for killing Jesus, even though it happened so long ago. They have a tendency to still hold on to that. So um, the Pilate is going to blame the crowd for not choosing Jesus, and Matthew, who of course is one of the disciples, wrote one of the Gospels. He's in the crowd, and he actually says in his text that Pilate is quoted as saying, "His," meaning Jesus, "his blood be on us and our children." And so this is something that we continue to have to deal with today. A lot of the reason why we have the persecution of the Jews that we still have is based on this fact as well. Okay, so at this point, we've kind of wrapped up our information on Christianity, which is going to lead us into a discussion about the Dark Ages. But at this point, we're going to do an activity about how the Christians and were treated by the Romans, and then we will have a test on Christianity in the next couple of days. So make sure that you're looking out for that. Make sure that you're keeping your notebook updated, and again, if you need anything, if you have any questions or concerns, please make sure that you contact us so that we can help you out.